예술을 경험한다는 것은 익숙한 세상을 새롭게 바라보게 하고 예술을 교육한다는 것은 인공지능 시대에 맞는 인재를 키우게 합니다. 바다를 품은 자연과 활기찬 도시의 일상이 예술이 되고 영감이 되는 곳. 부산이라는 거대한 도화지 위에서 창의력이 피어나고 상상력이 자라납니다. 예술로 생각이 자라는 도시, 예술도시 부산. 이 캠페인은 창의적 사고로 예술을 키우는 동서대학교 앵커 사업단과 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
We are the Zero Waste Rangers.
To save Mother Earth, just remember the 5 R's. Would you like a bag for that?
No thanks. I brought my own bag. Number 1, refuse. Just say no to things you do not need.
This shirt is so out of style.
Why not take it to a flea market? Number 2, reduce. Buy only what you need and share with your neighbors.
1 iced Americano coming right up.
Can I get that in my tumbler? Number 3, reuse. Single use, that's not how we do things.
This is such a hassle. Let's just throw it all in together.
You've got to peel off the labels and rinse them out. Number 4, recycle. Rinse it, peel it, and recycle properly.
This looks different from other sponges.
It's a biodegradable loofah. Number 5, rot. Choose a product that returns to nature.
Refuse, reduce,
Reuse, recycle,
and rot. The 5R pledge to protect our planet.
Want to be a friend of BFM 부산영어방송? You can chat with BFM through our Kakao Talk service. You can share your messages and photos through Kakao Talk, and you can easily become BFM's Kakao friend by searching BFM through the Find a Friend option. Come share and chat with us at BFM anytime, anywhere for free. Don't forget to add BFM 부산영어방송 to your Kakao friends list.
AI는 무엇이든 척척 만들잖아요. 그런데 AI가 되살릴 수 없는 소리도 있대요. 사라지면 다시 살릴 수 없는 대한민국의 푸른 자연을 지켜주세요. 공익광고협의회.
The time is now 7 o'clock.
We are in the smack middle of summer, and several European cities we've reported on, they have surpassed 40 degrees Celsius many times already. And we here in Korea, we felt the sense of relative gratification, or at least a feeling of, well, you know what? Let's be thankful. We're at least in the 30s. Well, it seems that the daytime highs here in Korea are going up, with the Korea Meteorological Administration, KMA, issuing its highest level heat wave warning for 17 areas in the southern area again yesterday. So just 2 days ago on Sunday, Yangsan and Miryang soared to 39.3 degrees, the highest temperature recorded this year. So I implore you to stay hydrated and stay out of the direct sunlight as much as possible. I'm Catherine. This is Morning Wave in Busan on Tuesday, July 28th on BEFM, 부산영어방송. Good morning, wavers. I hope you're all surviving the heat. I already have comments on the board. 태진님, I haven't seen you in such a while. 네, 진짜 덥네요. 라고 시작하는 Tuesday morning입니다. So yes, it is going to be another hot one. I feel it already. Well, we'll get the exact temperatures out to you in just a little bit. But I certainly hope that you're surviving it and drinking plenty of water, lathering on the sunscreen, etc. Well, we have a text topic for you that is related to, of course, what we've been covering for heritage trails. So here it is. What is the coolest building or architecture that you have ever seen? 내가 본 것 중 가장 멋있는 건물, 건축물은? What is it? Okay, so I want to hear all about the coolest buildings, architecture, whether it's here domestically in Korea or somewhere else across the world. Let's hear your thoughts. Send them into BFM's live stream, live chat on YouTube. Go to the YouTube platform and type in BEFM or 부산영어방송 to find our channel. Subscribe, log in, and chat with our other waivers. From your phone, pound 9050, shop 9050. That's going to cost you 100 won. You can also reach me for free on Kakao Talk. So same thing there. You got to find our account. So enter BEFM, 부산영어방송, to find our account, add us as a friend, and then you can send your messages, your photos too if you like. And the ways you can tune into Morning Wave in Busan. If you're in Busan, you love the radio, 90.5 or 103.3 FM, depending on where you are in Busan. We are streaming live on YouTube right now, and you can catch us on the BEFM app or the Papang app. So it is Tuesday already. We have Jian coming in for Now in Busan. That's our local news segment. We have Haley for top stories in hour number 1. In hour number 2, she takes us on this virtual tour of Korea with heritage trails. And then for our Tuesday segments, we have sports, wave sports. And while Andrew's away, Yu Ji-ho from Yeon-up Sports, he's going to be joining me. Also, we have Haeyeon, the trend whisperer, coming in later on in hour number 2. For our special interview, you may have noticed that we have been covering a lot of AI-related themes. So today we're going to be talking about the San Francisco AI Summit. What does this mean for Korea? Because we have all these new developments happening so quickly, we want to be on top of it. As lay people, maybe it's not as experts, but we need to know how this may affect us now and in the near-term future as well. So we have that coming up in hour number 2. Now let's say hi to Jian for Now in Busan. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you are... How are you surviving the heat, by the way?
I know, it's so hot.
Yes, it is indeed. But our text topic is related to beautiful buildings or architecture. What say you?
To me,
yes.
I don't know, it may not be the best, but in Seoul, there's a DDP, Dongdaemun Digital Plaza, which
Yes.
used to be a huge stadium, but now it looks like a huge silver alien UFO thing in the middle of the city, and it's a really interesting architecture, I think.
Yes.
Our neighbors should definitely try the DDP as well.
Yes, well, thank you for sharing that with us. We're now going to jump into some local news now in Busan. The summer heat, like I just mentioned in the opening, it has
Right.
been relentless, even here in Busan. How is our city responding?
Busan City is checking whether its heat response measures are working properly. Officials are visiting a homeless support center to see how people living on the streets are being protected, including emergency shelters and outreach services. They're also meeting with Korea Electric Power to review the city's electricity supply during the hot weather.
Why is the power supply such a big concern right now?
Well, electricity use goes up sharply when everyone is running their air conditioners. The city wants to make sure there's enough power while also encouraging people to save energy by setting reasonable cooling temperatures and avoiding keeping doors open while air conditioners is running.
Yes, that's really important. Have there been many heat-related illnesses?
Since May and until the 25th of this month, Busan has reported 32 cases of heat-related illness, and 22 of them happened this month alone. That shows just how dangerous this long heat wave has become.
Right, and over the weekend, I heard there was an emergency involving an elderly woman, correct?
That's right. On Sunday morning, an 85-year-old woman collapsed while walking on the street in Namgu district. She had a body temperature of 39.1 degrees Celsius and was taken to a hospital.
I see. So is this extreme heat expected to continue?
Unfortunately, yes. Busan has been under a heat wave advisory for 10 straight days, and tropical nights have continued for 8 nights in a row. City officials say they'll keep working to protect vulnerable residents and ensure a stable power supply throughout the heat wave.
Yes, indeed. So we got to do our part and take care of ourselves too, though. All right, next up, Busan has launched a major partnership with local governments, universities, and businesses. So what is this all about?
Busan, Ulsan, and Gyeongnam Province have joined forces with Busan National University and 25 major companies to create a new regional alliance. The goal is to help the Southeast region grow by connecting education, research, and industry more closely.
Yes, and why was this alliance created in the first place?
The idea is to train more local talent while supporting industries that are expected to drive future growth. Instead of universities and companies working separately, they'll work together to match education and research with real industry needs.
Yes, and what role will Busan National University play?
Busan National University will focus on developing skilled workers and conducting research in key growth industries. It will also work with local governments to encourage graduates to build their careers and settle in the region.
Yes, and what are officials hoping that this partnership will achieve?
They hope it will strengthen the regional economy, create more high-quality jobs, and also make the Busan, Ulsan, Gyeongnam area a leading innovation hub for the Southeast region.
Oh, well, let's hoping that this happens. Next up, as the UNESCO World Heritage Committee meeting continues, people are also talking about the city's wartime history. So why is this?
That's right. Busan is using this opportunity to introduce its wartime capital heritage to visitors from around the world. During the Korean War, Busan served as South Korea's temporary capital for 1,023 days and became a refuge for people fleeing the war.
That's right. Such an important part of our local history.
That's right.
Is Busan trying to get that history recognized by UNESCO?
Yes, the city is aiming to have the wartime capital heritage listed as a UNESCO World Heritage Site by 2030. It was added to Korea's UNESCO tentative list in 2023 and was later selected as one of the country's priority World Heritage candidates.
Yes, and what places are included in this heritage?
The heritage includes 11 historic sites such as Yeongdo Bridge, Busan Port Pier 1, the UN Memorial Cemetery, and former refugee neighborhoods like Amidong and Uamdong. Together, they tell the story of how Busan protected both its government and hundreds of thousands of refugees during the war.
Yes, and how is the city promoting these sites during the UNESCO meeting?
Busan has been offering special field trips for delegates and visitors. The tours have been very popular, giving people a chance to see the historic sites and learn how the city recovered and grew after the war.
I see. So what is the next step toward World Heritage status?
If the preliminary evaluation goes well, Busan plans to submit its full nomination in 2029. UNESCO is expected to make the final decision on World Heritage status in 2030.
All right, so here's keeping our fingers crossed on that one. Next up, cafes, they seem to be everywhere in Busan these days, but is that really the case?
Actually, yes, it is.
Okay.
The number of cafes in Busan has nearly tripled over the past 10 years. There are now more than 9,100 cafes across the city, which is the highest number among Korea's 6 major metropolitan cities.
Wow, so does that mean that cafe owners are doing well?
Not necessarily. While the average annual sales have increased, fewer than half of new cafes survived for more than 3 years. Last year, more cafes actually closed than opened.
Oh, well, which areas have the most number of cafes?
Busan Jingu District has the largest number, followed by Haeundae-gu District and Dongdae-gu District. But when it comes to average sales, Haeundae ranks first with Gangseok-gu District and Gijang-gun County also performing quite well.
I see. So people are spending more money at cafes, I'm thinking?
Yes. Spending at cafes by Korean customers increased by nearly 17% last year. People in their 40s and older made up almost 70% of total spending, and Haeundae alone accounted for about a quarter of all cafe spending in Busan.
Yes, and what about international visitors?
International tourists also spending much more at cafes too. Their card spending jumped by 73% compared with the previous year, showing Busan's cafe culture is becoming more popular with overseas visitors as well.
Ah, well, apparently. Very interesting to hear about. Moving on, KNN has announced a Korean-speaking contest for international students. So tell us about this.
It's a new competition designed for international students studying in Busan and Gyeongnam. The goal is to help them improve their Korean skills, connect with local communities, and even explore future job opportunities.
Right, so who can actually take part in this?
International university students, graduate students, and students at university-affiliated Korean language institutes can apply.
Okay.
There are two divisions, which is the Challenge League for people who've lived in Korea for less than 3 years, and the Master League for more advanced Korean speakers.
Oh, so there are two different tiers.
That's right.
What do contestants have to do first, though?
For the preliminary round, they need to record a 1-minute speech in Korean, upload it to social media, and submit the video link through the contest website. The speech should be about their study abroad experiences or life in Korea.
Yes, yes. And by the way, students, if you are eligible, you can apply starting today. So definitely spread the word so that if people are eligible, that you can apply for this. Well, what happens if they make it to the finals?
Finalists will receive speech coaching from KNN announcers visit sponsoring companies or organizations and give a presentation based on that experience. The finals will be held at KNN on September 18th.
Well, it's a contest, so any prizes?
Yes. Winners can receive cash prizes of up to 1 million won. Some of the top winners will also get the chance to appear on KNN radio programs and take part in internship opportunities with sponsoring companies.
All right, great to hear. Thanks for going over all the local news. We'll check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Jian.
Thank you.
And I'll be back in just a moment with your traffic and weather. It's time for your traffic report. There is an accident on Dongso overpass coming into the city right before Daegum. It's congested on Luno Samsungdae from Myeongji underpass to Shinho Bridge. There's traffic building on Nakdong Namno from Gangso Police Station to Seongsan Three-Way intersection. Also looking slow on Mandukdae from Sukdeung to Deokcheon intersection. It's currently 28 degrees Celsius here in Busan under clear skies. The daytime high will go up to 34, even up to 36 degrees in some areas. Busan is under a heat wave impact report, a heat wave warning, and a tropical night advisory. Across the nation, the blazing heat wave continues with the daytime high forecast to go up to 38 degrees in some areas, and parts of Cheonnam, Daegu, Gyeongbuk, and Gyeongnam are under the severe heat warning, so please take care of your health. Showers forecast for the central region and also Gyeongbuk. This was your traffic and weather. It's time for the morning brief. Yi and Lula discuss enhancing South Korea-Brazil cooperation. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung held a summit with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in Brasilia, where the two agreed to elevate bilateral ties to a strategic partnership. PPP risks losing nearly 40 billion won in ex-president's election law violation. A Seoul court yesterday found former President Yoon Suk-yeol guilty of election law violations, putting the People Power Party, or PPP, at risk of returning nearly 40 billion won that was reimbursed in campaign expenses for the 2022 presidential election. NEC launches review of June 3rd local election appeal. The National Election Commission has launched a review of the appeals into the June 3rd local elections, mayoral and gubernatorial, local council, and educational superintendent races. Two more heat-related fatalities reported. The number of fatalities from the ongoing heat wave this summer has climbed to 8 after 2 more people died over the weekend, including a woman in her 80s in Hadong, Gyeongnam, and a woman in her 90s in Kimjae, Jeonbuk. France and Spain race to contain huge wildfires. Firefighters in France and Spain are racing to bring huge wildfires under control before another heat wave hits this week that will complicate extinguishing efforts. This was the Morning Brief. You're tuned into hour number 1 of Morning Wave in Busan. It's time for top stories. Haley's here. Let's say hi first. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're going to jump into what's going on in Brazil and talk about President Lee Jae-myung's summit with President Lula.
As you just said, President Lee Jae-myung met with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva, or simply President Lula, for their second meeting this year. The summit lasted for about 140 minutes at the Brazilian presidential palace. Actually, to start off, President Lee was greeted with a full military band, a procession, and the two presidents showed off their friendship, hugging and linking arms. The two had previously bonded over their experiences as respective child laborers and factory workers.
Yes. What was discussed at the summit, though?
The economy, namely key minerals, supply chain, and trade. The two countries will elevate their relationship to that of a strategic partnership. And they also said that the two countries will expand cooperation across the defense industry, space, key minerals, and digital economy. And President Lee Jae-myung said that they can no longer delay trade negotiations between South Korea and Mercosur.
Yes, so we need to talk about this trade bloc, Mercosur.
So Mercosur literally meaning the Southern Market or the Southern Common Market. This is a trade bloc that was established back in 1991. Founding members Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, and Uruguay. Bolivia has also joined as a full member, and associate members include Chile, Colombia, and Peru. So as you can tell from just this list, this is one of the world's largest trade blocs, which is rich in critical mineral resources, especially lithium, key resource in batteries.
Right.
So South Korea and Mercosur, for their part, they began formal negotiations for a trade pact way back in 2018. But the talks have stalled over the past several years. But then since taking office, President Lee Jae-myung has been looking to resume these talks with Mercosur as part of his efforts to diversify South Korea's trade portfolio amid these changes in the volatile global trade environment.
Yes. Well, while in Brazil, the president presided over a senior aides meeting remotely, I hear.
Right, so we're going to come back to domestic politics. Here, President Lee ordered for the country to continue the fuel price cap and also maintain other stabilization policies like fuel tax cuts until the fuel and energy-related uncertainties are cleared for sure. He also addressed the volatilities in the Middle East, which is the root of this issue, pointing to the possibility of fuel price fluctuations. He also called on the government to proactively review additional measures for those who are dependent on diesel, for instance, cargo truck drivers, farmers, and migrant workers. The president also said that we as a country must crack down on illegal actions that take advantage of the tough times for people making money for themselves, adding that after the rain season, vacation season will start in earnest, and said that the government must look into detail into the people's lives, like people who struggle without air conditioning, those who are struggling to make ends meet, who can't even think about taking vacation because they're trying to feed their families, as well as young people who are trying to break through in the job market.
Ah, indeed. All right. Leaving those stories there, we're going to turn to the June 3rd local elections ballot shortage story. We have previously covered the allegations that local election officials arbitrarily changed voter turnout numbers without going through the official channels. So I hear we have updates to this story.
We do. So what you covered in the morning brief is about the official NEC case that's going on with opposition party lawmakers trying to appeal the election and have a new vote. But this is regarding the investigation into the National Election Commission or the NEC itself. So it's been unveiled that during elections, local polling station officials, they have to give updated figures hourly on the voter turnout. If there are corrections, they have to get it approved by the election office that oversees them. However, the authorities have found evidence that officials allegedly fixed these numbers on their own, quote-unquote, giving away extra figures to other polling stations, assuming that the numbers are going to catch up eventually. Apparently, there were 72 cases of voter turnout corrections that the NEC received on June 3rd. And there were cases where the number of voters jumped by 6,000 in the matter of 1 hour, or corrections that were made 12 hours later. So this is based on NEC's figures submitted to People Power Party or PPP lawmaker Kim Eun-hye from 56 county, city, and district offices. But since there are 255 such offices, that number may increase.
Well, can we go over some of the specific cases?
For instance, one district in Incheon had its 4 p.m. voter turnout initially at 54,000, but that was corrected later to 61,000, so about 6,000 more people were added.
Okay.
And here's the thing. They do have to stipulate and write down the reason, the more detail, the better. But then it was simply written down as changes in total voter turnout without stipulating how or why.
Right.
The changes were also reported in Sacheon, in Gyeonggi, and Gosong in Gangwon by almost 4,000 and 1,000 people added or changed, respectively. Typos like 41 being typed in as 410, so an extra zero was added, was reported in Ansan. 84 being entered as 284 in Haenam. There are also cases like in Gunpo in Gyeonggi province where the 7 a.m. turnout was corrected at 7 p.m., 12 hours later. And in Sincheon, the 6 a.m. turnout was corrected after voting ended at 9 p.m.
Yes.
So Representative Kim Eun-hye says that this voter turnout shows, this shows that voter turnout, which should have been accurate and the most basic, fundamental, these were arbitrarily figured out and fixed, and it's hard to fathom how lax election management was and has been, and called for a special counsel investigation.
All right. Well, thank you for reporting on the latest on that ongoing story. The court yesterday handed down a ruling on former President Yoon Suk-yeol's election law violation case.
Going into detail of what was covered in the morning brief, the Seoul Central District Court found former President Yoon Suk-yeol guilty of making false statements while he was the PPP's presidential candidate in the 2022 election. So here, Yoon was sentenced to 1.5 years in prison, suspended for 3 years.
Right. So let's go over the logistics of this case.
This goes back to December of 2021 when he was the candidate. He was at a discussion forum, and this was regarding his potential connections to some people that voters may have found or the opposition found shady. Well, Yoon said that he never introduced an attorney who was previously with the prosecution to the former head of Yongsan tax office. He also said that he had never met shaman Kon Jin or Chun Sung-bae with his wife Kim Gun-hee, and that statement was made the following year. But the court yesterday essentially accepted the Minjung-gi special counsel's findings that these relationships were indeed true. Because the former president is facing allegations that he allegedly exerted influence in the former Yongsan tax chief's bribery case. So the court said that these relationships speak to whether then-candidate Yoon Suk-yeol was able to make rational decisions potentially as president, or whether he had possibility of depending on unofficial outside influence. The judge also chastised Yoon for publicly making false statements at a time when voter interest over such matters was quite high.
Well, the thing about this case is that it directly affects the People Power Party, right?
It does, because the party may have to cough up 39.7 billion won if this case is confirmed.
Yes.
That's because under election law, if a presidential candidate wins the race, or even if he or she loses but gets at least 15% of the votes, then the NEC, by extension taxpayers, compensate that party or the individual, if he or she is an independent, for the entirety of the money that's used in the election for the campaigning. But if that election result is overturned or nullified because the candidate was found guilty and at least fined 1 million won and confirmed, the party has to forfeit or return that money. Former President Yoon's side said that they are going to appeal the case, so that has not been confirmed, and we'll have to see.
Yes, that's the latest on that case. We're going to move on to healthcare. A large number of salaried workers who have extra income on the side may see a big bump in how much they have to pay for national health insurance.
Right, so under the National Health Insurance revisions, criteria for extra payments for salaried workers who have extra income apart from their salaries will get a lot more strict.
So tell us how the system works for salaried workers.
So if you are a wage worker or a salaried worker, 직장 가입자, you have two potential types of national health insurance payments. So first, that's the basic payment that's taken out of your salary. So
Yes.
that's insurance on wages. But if you have additional income, such as interest rates, dividends from stocks, rent, or businesses, then they also have insurance on income, 소득, 월액, 보험료. But there's a bit of a leeway. The government gives you a break on up to 20 million won annually on that extra income. Meaning if your annual extra income, apart from your salary, was under 20 million won, you actually don't get insurance taken out of that.
Oh, but I hear that this figure has been updated.
Or downgraded. It's been cut in half. So now that's become smaller at 10 million won. The intent is fairness because there's the other side, the other group, regional subscribers, aka business owners or freelancers. They pay insurance on all of their income.
Right.
So with this, some 1.78 million salaried subscribers, that's about 9% of all salaried subscribers, are expected to be affected. However, the government estimates that they will add about 707 billion won extra of health insurance funding from this change.
I see. So I guess some of us may be getting bills. All right, for our last bit of domestic stories, there has been this social media ad about illicit substances making the rounds.
Right, so social media ads for GHB, they say, and these ads say, quote, highly recommended, just add 1 or 2 drops. But here's the thing, that might sound like vitamin C supplements or something very casual. Well, GHB stands for gamma hydroxybutyrate, which is a central nervous depressant. They sometimes act as club drugs or date rape drugs.
Right.
In Korean, this is called 물뽕. It is absolutely a controlled substance because it can lead to a loss of consciousness. But it's because it's clear and odorless. This is why it's been known to be used for sexual assault.
Right, and apparently this is being advertised on social media, though.
This is something that should never be advertised, but multiple accounts say that they've seen these ads, and they include screenshots. So the ad, for one, it features a man dosing a woman's drink with GHB, her losing consciousness, and this man then carrying her on his back and moving off camera for God knows what. So the ad said, perfectly under your control. 100% secret guaranteed. Great for dates, clubs, and bars.
Oh, dear.
There was also a YouTube ad from back in May that also used the term 물뽕 in the advertisement.
Okay, so as, troublesome as that is this allowed?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Buying and selling the substance is illegal on personal platforms, and even just posting an ad without there being an actual transaction, that is also against the law, and that could subject one to under 3 years in prison or 30 million won in fines. But the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety found 50,000 of such ads and asked for the platforms to block them. But there are those who still circumvent the system, and you can continue to make accounts and post ads. Wow. So experts point to the problem with the platform's algorithm. If a teenager, or really anyone, but teens are more susceptible, if they click on a similar ad out of curiosity, then the algorithm learns that as your preference.
Right.
And, we've seen that with legal things like clothing, purses, sporting, whatever, but then it just keeps popping up. There's also an issue of a lot of these platforms having overseas servers, so they do tend to be slower in terms of cooperation in criminal investigations.
Oh, dear. Well, thank you for telling us about this. So we are better aware. And now for our final story, we're going to go to the U.S.-Iran situation.
So we're on day 3 of the suspended or halted strikes. And U.S. President Donald Trump said that the U.S. is in, quote, very deep talks with Iran. However, he's also keeping the military option open, saying that the U.S. will return to strong military action and that he's also not giving the talks that much time. In the meantime, Iran has been in talks with Oman over the management of the Strait of Hormuz. The two countries are apparently close to reaching a deal in principle on how to manage the waterway. Iran's demanding that all ships passing through the waterway must pay some type of transit fee or toll to a consortium that's led by these two countries.
Yes, in the meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, he is set to visit the U.S.
This is going to be a major diplomatic trip for the Israeli Prime Minister. He's coming to Washington, D.C. for a summit with President Trump on Tuesday local time. Timing very conspicuous because the two countries have shown splits over how to proceed in the Iran situation. More attacks versus diplomacy. Also, Netanyahu has not visited the White House since the war in Iran began. And also last week, there was that major U.S.-Saudi nuclear deal that he wants to talk about.
Right.
Domestically, both leaders are facing elections fairly soon. For Netanyahu, his political survival depends on the October general election.
Yes.
Less direct for President Trump, but we are less than 100 days away from the November midterm elections in the U.S.
That's right. Well, thank you for going over all the top stories. We'll check in with you in our number 2 for Heritage Trails. Thank you, Haley.
See you in a bit.
All right, we are ready for a song break. So this song always reminds me of summer. So Shake It by Sistar.
Traffic is so bad. Let's see what's on the radio.
Get the latest news and current issues that you need here on Morning Wave in Busan. You're now listening to Morning Wave in Busan with me, Catherine. Welcome back, everybody. It is now time for our sports segment. This is called Wave Sports. And while Andrew's away, we will play. We have Yoo Ji-ho. He is going to be on air with us for the next 2 weeks as well to go over all the sports happenings. He's from Yonhap News Agency. Let's say hi to him. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good morning.
Yes, yes. Hey, I'm going to put you on the spot because
Sure.
I'm going to ask you a text topic. Our text topic is, Can you tell us like the coolest building or maybe architecture, whether it's here domestically or I know you travel a lot for covering sports, anything that really kind of stands out to you, maybe like a particular stadium or an arena that you went, wow, this is pretty amazing.
Well, that's a tough question.
Yes.
I'm going to go with, I'm going to be a bit of a homer. I spent time in
Yes.
Toronto. I'm a big hockey fan. And I got to watch a couple of games at the Maple Leaf Gardens, the historic former home of the Toronto Maple Leafs, the NHL hockey team. I got to see especially one game during their final season back in 98-99 season. So I'm going to go with that one. Pretty historic building.
Nice.
Very old,
That's
but
so
very
you.
historic.
That's so you, though. So
It is me.
sporty of you. All right. So I believe that we're going to be talking about baseball as our first story. So in the KBO League, the LG Twins, they're going to be try to right the ship and end the month of July on a high note, hopefully after losing 9 out of their past 10 games. So let's preview the week ahead into Korean baseball.
Yeah, so LG Twins began this month of July in first place. They were leading by 2.5 games, but now, final week of this month, they're in third place by 5 games. They cannot catch the league leading Samsung Lions with only 4 games to go, but they can still get back on track a little bit. They've got a 6-game homestand coming up, 3 against the last place Kiwoom Heroes and 3 more against the Jamsil co-tenants Dusan Bears. The Twins have the worst record in the league this month. 5-11-0, just 5 wins in 16 games. They've also got the worst ERA, 6.24. So they're, I guess, eagerly awaiting the arrival of their new pitcher, Carlos Carrasco, who was one time a former Cy Young contender back in the majors, won over 100 games, signed with them last week. They're waiting for him to come around to finally make his KBO debut at some point. The Twins also shuffled their coaching staff yesterday to shake things up. Very typical step for a struggling team in the KBO to do it. Usually they swap out coaches from the minor leagues. They bring them up, and then they send some of the coaches in the first team down to the minors to kind of, I guess, send a message to the rest of the team. If you look at the Sunday's game against the Hanwha Eagles, they gave up 10 runs in the 8th inning alone. This kind of microcosm of how the month of July has gone for them. And they gave up 33 runs in 3 games, losing 2 out of those 3 games. Their pitching has been a really, really sore spot for them this month.
Right. Well, we also have to talk about our local Lotte Giants. I would say maybe having a mediocre week last week. What do they have to do this coming week?
Yeah, so they won just 2 out of 6 games last week. Their pitchers performed, I guess, relatively well, but their offense kind of was up and down. They defeated KT Wiz 15-1 on Sunday to end the Wiz's 9-game winning streak. But the previous day, the Giants lost 6-1. So they score 1 run one day, come back out, score 15 runs the next day. So that's kind of the theme for the entire season for this team. They just have to find more consistency, I think, going forward. If they wanted to climb back into postseason contention, they visit for this week Hanwha Eagles for 3 games, and then they will host league-leading Samsung Lions for 3 games in Sajik. They're 7 games out of a final postseason spot at the moment, with 50 games to go. Not insurmountable, but the time is not on their side anymore. It's not early anymore. If you look at their record with the Giants, they're 24-22-2 on the road. Very good, above 500. But at home in Sajik, 17-29, 12 games below 500 at home. So
Wow.
they've got one of the best records in the league on the road, but one of the worst. Actually, a tie for the fewest wins at home in the KBO.
But why? They get so much support. I don't get it. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, here's
so I
hoping,
mean, with
of
all the
course.
support, maybe there's a lot of pressure, right?
Maybe, yes. Well, we're going to have to still support him. So we're going to move on and talk about more baseball news. But a legend, former MLB pitcher Park Chan-ho has bought into the relocating club athletics. So he's going to serve as the team's senior advisor as well. This was a landmark partnership for the first Korean player in MLB history, right?
Right. So Park Chan-ho and his consortium, Team 61, signed on to make a $70 million investment into a team that has been valued at $2 billion. Used to be Oakland Athletics. They're not based in Oakland anymore. They will move into Las Vegas in 2028. So that's about 3.5% stake in the team. Not enough for them to have management control, but Park will be the advisor to the majority owner, John Fisher, on player development, personnel decisions, and also some maybe marketing issues as well. So this is the first instance of a Korean capital making investment in a Major League Baseball club. Park said he had long dreamed of becoming an MLB team owner. He grew up admiring a lot of the owners that he had a chance to meet. And he's, I guess, kind of become one, right? Minority owner of the Athletics.
Right.
He tried to actually buy into the San Diego Padres recently. He played for them at some point later in his career. Did not kind of work out for a number of reasons. But when he heard that the Athletics were relocating from Oakland to Las Vegas, he sensed an opportunity, had a meeting with Fisher, and they kind of discussed ideas, and then they kind of formed a quick connection there. So he said this will be more than just a financial investment. He's gonna try to act as a bridge between Korea and the U.S., try to send more Korean players to MLB, potentially to the Athletics, also expand the A's foothold in the Korean market, and also give Korean companies a chance to establish their presence in the U.S. market, especially in Las Vegas.
Wow, this is such exciting news. I'm sure we'll hear more about this in the near future, but thanks for breaking it to us. All right, we're going to move on to football or soccer, as some of us call it. So in football transfer news, South Korean international Lee Gang-in has joined Atletico Madrid in their top Spanish league, La Liga. So he leaves PSG after 3 seasons and is returning to the country where he spent his formative years, right?
Right. He started out in Spain as a teenager, spent a lot of years there, 3 years in Paris, and then now going back to Spain. He agreed to a 5-year contract with Atletico Madrid or Atleti that was announced over the weekend. Financial terms of the deal were not officially disclosed, but Spanish media are reporting that Atletico Madrid paid 35 million euros in transfer fees, about $40 million US, with an option for another 5 million euros. So that's, if confirmed, I guess if official, that would be the second highest transfer fee for a Korean player moving in Europe, behind only Kim Min-jae when he went to Bayern Munich. Lee Gang-in is an attacking midfielder. He can also operate on either wing as a left-footed attacking player. He began his career with the Valencia CF in Spain as a teenager and also had a spell with RC de Mallorca. He made a big move to PSG. They won 3 league titles, 2 Champions League, European Champions League titles with him around, but he did not actually get to play a big part of the success. It wasn't getting consistent playing time with him in recent months, especially this past season. So he's going from a widely successful team in Paris to a team maybe trying to break into, among the upper echelon in Spain. So his new team, I think will count on him to become provide some more juice, creativity on their offensive end. Like I said, he can operate on either wing. He's got a great vision. He can really thread passes through tight spaces and all that. So he's going to be the creative engine for Atletico Madrid. And also, he's going to have a chance to play on home soil. Atletico Madrid will visit Korea for a preseason match against the Manchester City. There will be August the 9th in Seoul. So potentially he's going to make his Atletico Madrid debut in Seoul early next month.
That's right. So, of course, I'm just glad that maybe he'll get, ample playing time, right, as the move progresses. So we are happy about that. Staying with football, though, Son Heung-min scored in his third straight MLS match for LAFC over the weekend. I have to say, I've been watching his season, and it was a little worrisome, but his scoreless drought is now becoming a distant memory after the World Cup, right?
Yeah, so it was worrisome, for a while there, he just could not buy a goal, but now all of a sudden he just cannot stop scoring. This guy's a superstar in MLS.
Yes.
Like I said, he was held without a goal in 13 straight matches to begin this season in MLS, and now he's scored 3 in a row, all of them coming after the FIFA World Cup break. First, it was against the LA Galaxy in their LA Derby, and then against Real Salt Lake City last week, a midweek match. And over the weekend, Sporting Kansas City were their latest victim against Son Heung-min, who scored 5 minutes into the action at BMO Stadium in LA. So he's got 5 goals in all competitions, 3 in MLS. He also leads the league with 10 assists. After ending the drought in LA Derby last weekend, he spoke about how he felt refreshed mentally after spending some time at home following the World Cup. So he kind of, went to LA, kind of rejuvenated. I think it's really showing on the field.
Yes, you can see it. He just looks much more relaxed, especially after that first goal 3 games ago. So just happy to see that happening. Well, we're going to move on to some golf news where Jenny Shin has ended her 10-year title drought on the LPGA Tour as she won the Women's Scottish Open on Sunday over fellow Korean player Kim Ha-rin. So let us talk about Shin's long-awaited victory. 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years in the making for Jenny Shin or Shin Ji-eun. She claimed a 2-shot victory over Kim Ha-rin at 9 under 279 at the Scottish Open. That's her first title since May 2016 and second win of her career. So she's the 4th Korean player to win on the LPGA Tour this year, joining Lee Mi-hyang, Kim Hyo-ju, and Yoo Hae-ran. Lee Mi-hyang has 1 win, and Kim Hyo-ju and Yoo Hae-ran, of course, have 2 wins apiece. Shin had a 5-stroke lead entering the final round over Panjari Ananarukarn of Thailand. The advantage actually grew to 8 strokes after just 2 holes when the Thai player began double bogey in the final round. So Shin kind of held steady, 5 straight pars to start the final round. But then she made 3 straight bogeys, and that cut her lead to just 2 shots down coming into the back 9. But Shin bounced back with the birdies. With birdies at 10th and 12th, even bogeys on 2 of the final 3 holes did not affect the outcome. So she became actually the first player in 30 years to go at least 10 years between victories in the LPGA.
Yes. So big congrats to her because, 10 years is a really long time to kind of stick it out and, keep on going. But I want to thank you for all the exciting sports news. Wishing you the very best. Stay cool, and we'll check in with you next week. Thank you, Ji-ho.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right, everybody, this was Wave Sports. We're going to take a little song break real quick. This is 해변의 여인 by Cool. What a perfect song for this hot summer day. We're going to close things out, but remember, in hour number 2, we have our special interview. We also have Heritage Trails. And since it's Tuesday, we have Trend Whisper with Han coming up as well. Here is Better Things by Espa to take us out for hour number 1. I'll be back at 8.
Got better things to do in my time, better things to do in my time, do in my time than you. Got better things to do in my time, better things to do in my time, do in my time. Wasn't ever sure that I loved you, but I was always sure you would let me down. Wasn't ever sure if I trust you, but I'm so sure my energy's just too precious to waste. And I wanna know me, wanna know me, wanna know all about me, wanna know about me, but you can't have me 'cause I left you alone. You know you wanna know me, wanna know me, wanna know all about me, wanna know about me, but you can't have me 'cause I'm gone. Yeah, I got better things to do in my time, better things to do in my time, do in my time than you. Got better things to do in my time, better things to do in my time, do in my time. Better things to do in my time, better things to do in my time, do in my time than you. Yes. Wasn't ever sure if I loved you, but I was always sure you would've loved me back. You had me right at my weakest. Yeah. Now you're hurting, I can see you mad, 'cause you're never gonna get that back. Now I know you wanna know me, wanna know me, wanna know all about me, wanna know about me, but you can't have me 'cause I left you alone. I know you wanna know me, wanna know me, wanna know all about me, wanna know about me, but you can't have me 'cause I'm gone. Got better things to do with my time, better things to do with my time, do with my time than you. Got better things to do with my time, better things to do with my time, do with my time. Your sound did it hurt you? No, I'm sorry, That's what big girls making money. That's why you're #1 fan now. You can only see me at the sold out shows. Will I ever go back? Will I ever trip up? Will I ever pull up on? Watch and see, but they're doing like they read the money. Got better things to do with my time, better things to do with my time, do with my time than you. Got better things to do with my time, better things to do with my time, do with my time. Break it down. I got better things to do with my time.
Hi, Professor. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Should I turn on my video?
Yeah, could you please? We're going to check in just to let you know all of our test calls in our new studio, they go out on YouTube, just to give you a heads up. There's no way to block it. So anyhow, is your camera on? Is there? Can you sit back just a little bit away from the camera? Okay, that's much better. And can you count from 1 to 5, please?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. The audio sounds good as well. So you know the drill. We're going to go live with you at 4 minutes past the hour, right after my short news segment. So I guess we're good to go. I hope you're doing okay. How hot is it where you are right now?
Not too bad. We had a huge thunderstorm. The danger here is a little bit more on flooding than heat, but we have had also many hot days. Yes. Seems like a very hot summer.
Yes, indeed. Well, anyhow, it's been so hot. Like, I mean, it's always hot, but like hot and humid, people are really, really feeling it right now. So I think we hit almost like 40 degrees. That's like really, really high for South Korea. So yes. Anyhow, I'm going to have to go, but I'll talk to you real soon. So thank you so much. Okay?
Okay. Talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.
인공지능이 찾아주는 시대. 하지만 정답을 찾는 기술보다 중요한 것은 세상을 새롭게 바라보는 눈입니다. 예술을 경험한다는 것은 익숙한 세상을 새롭게 바라보게 하고, 예술을 교육한다는 것은 인공지능 시대에 맞는 인재를 키우게 합니다. 바다를 품은 자연과 활기찬 도시의 일상이 예술이 되고 영감이 되는 곳. 부산이라는 거대한 도화지 위에서 창의력이 피어나고 상상력이 자라납니다. 예술로 생각이 자라는 도시, 예술도시 부산. 이 캠페인은 창의적 사고로 예술을 키우는 동서대학교 앵커 사업단과 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
30년째 같은 자리를 지키며 변함없는 행복을 나누는 분식집. 뜨거운 다림질 열기와 함께 깨끗함이 은은하게 실려오는 세탁소. 문구와 장난감 사이로 설렘과 이야기가 가득한 오래된 문방구. 아이부터 어른까지 모두의 발길이 머무는 우리 동네 최고의 추억의 장소입니다. 이렇게 작은 가게 하나하나가 모여 골목에 따뜻한 온기를 만들고 그 활기찬 온기들이 모여 우리 지역 경제를 든든하고 힘차게 지켜갑니다. 부산의 47만 소상공인이 내일도 힘차게 일어설 수 있도록 우리 모두의 발걸음과 응원을 더해봅니다. 이 캠페인은 지역을 지키는 소상공인을 응원하는 은행 BNK 부산은행과 부산영어방송이 함께합니다.
The time is now 8 o'clock.
Welcome back, everybody. It's time for 8 o'clock Spotlight News. Yi and Lula discuss enhancing South Korea and Brazil cooperation. South Korean President Lee Jae-myung held a summit with Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva in Brasilia, where the two agreed to elevate bilateral ties to a strategic partnership. During the summit, the leaders discussed ways to strengthen cooperation, especially in critical minerals and supply chains, as Seoul seeks to diversify its trade portfolio amid shifts in the global trade environment. They also agreed on the importance of resuming stalled negotiations on a trade agreement between South Korea and Mercosur, a South American trade bloc. PPP risks losing nearly 40 billion won for ex-president's election law violation. A Seoul court yesterday found former President Yoon Suk-yeol guilty of election law violations, putting the People Power Party, or PPP, at risk of returning nearly 40 billion won that was reimbursed in campaign expenses for the 2022 presidential election. Yoon was convicted of making false statements as the PPP's presidential candidate ahead of the presidential elections in March 2022. If the verdict is finalized through appeals, the PPP will be forced to return the 39.7 billion won it was reimbursed in campaign expenses by the election watchdog after Yoon's victory in the 2022 election. NEC launches review of June 3rd local election appeal. The National Election Commissioner, NEC, has launched a review of the appeals into the June 3rd local elections mayoral and gubernatorial, local council, and educational superintendent races. The NEC yesterday heard oral arguments from People Power Party, or PPP chair Jang Dong-hyuk, and Reform Party's Kim Jong-chol, who have been calling on for a new election upon the ballot shortage crisis. The NEC, by law, must make a decision on the election appeals within 60 days of receiving the request. A decision is expected by mid-August. Two 2 more heat-related fatalities reported. The number of fatalities from the ongoing heat wave this summer has climbed to 8 after 2 more people died over the weekend, including a woman in her 80s in Hadong, Gyeongnam, and a woman in her 90s in Kimdae, Jeonbuk. The Korea Disease Control and Prevention Agency, or KDCA, said a total of 72 people visited emergency rooms across the nation on Sunday for heat-related reasons. So far this summer season, records show that 1,399 people have experienced heat-related illnesses, with adults aged 65 or older accounting for 30.2% of that total. France and Spain race to contain huge wildfires. Firefighters in France and Spain are racing to bring huge wildfires under control before another heat wave hits this week that will complicate extinguishing efforts. A fire in Avila, west of Madrid, has become Spain's largest on record, burning through 50,000 acres, with 2 other fires burning northwest of Madrid. The French government held an emergency meeting as temperatures are expected to reach as high as 40 degrees Celsius later this week. And this was Spotlight News. It's time for a special interview on this Tuesday morning. If you remember, just a few weeks ago, we discussed why global AI companies like NVIDIA and OpenAI were increasingly turning their attention to South Korea. And now that interest has taken a significant step forward. At the San Francisco AI Summit over the weekend, South Korea announced a series of major AI partnerships with some of the world's biggest tech companies as part of its new San Francisco AI Declaration. The government says the initiative will help position South Korea as a global AI hub through investments in AI infrastructure, semiconductors, robotics, and advanced manufacturing. Today, we're going to explore what these announcements really mean and whether they could reshape Korea's role in the global AI ecosystem. Joining us today is Professor Daryl Lim, Associate Dean for Research and Innovation and Founding Director of the Intellectual Property, IP, Law and Innovation Initiative at Penn State Dickinson Law. Hi, welcome back, Professor.
Oh, good morning, Catherine. I hope that you and your waivers are keeping cool in the heat.
Oh, we're trying so hard. Thank you, though, for your concern. So, Professor Lim, the last time you joined us on a program, we talked about why global AI companies were increasingly interested in Korea. And since then, we've seen the San Francisco AI Summit and the announcement of the San Francisco AI Declaration. So, looking at these developments, what stands out to you the most?
Well, first of all, as you mentioned, when we last spoke, Korea was moving from being primarily an adopter of AI to becoming a builder of AI. And the San Francisco Summit suggests that that transition is becoming more complete. You ask me what stands out most? Well, I'd say what stands out most is the shift from interest to implementation. And that declaration brings together 2 broad ambitions. First, Korea wants to be an essential part of the global AI supply chain, not just a customer, but a service provider, a parts provider holistically. Second, it wants to turn that industrial strength into domestic innovation. It wants to turn it into economic growth. It wants to turn it into responsible deployment. And it's notable, your viewers might have noticed this as well in watching the news or hearing you talk about it. The symbolism of the summit was also striking. President Lee invoked the Korean idea of sikku, right? The idea that people share a meal as a family to describe the relationship between Korea and the global tech companies. So there's, I think, a lot of relational investment that's put into this as well. And I think it's also worth noting that the announcements give that declaration real weight. It's not just an empty declaration, but you've got Samsung and Broadcom, for example, announcing that they are investing $200 billion in memory, in foundry collaboration. And you also have SK and NVIDIA. They announced a $500 billion partnership across AI memory infrastructure. So these are huge amounts. But at the same time, I think it's important to note that these are multi-year investments. These are not upfront, immediate results. It's an intent, it's a declaration.
Yes, indeed. And as you just mentioned, some of the biggest companies, obviously from Korea's side, the biggest companies there, and also the world's leading AI companies, all brought together by the San Francisco AI Summit. So what does that tell us about Korea's position today, that its influence is growing maybe?
Its influence is certainly growing. I think it's positioning itself very strategically in three specific areas, which is trying to combine. The first, of course, is its advanced semiconductor capabilities. We've known for a long time Korea has a reputation through companies like Samsung Electronics, through SK Hynix. The second, of course, Korea also has a reputation for world-class manufacturing. And quite apart from your ships, you have batteries, you've got telecommunications, you've got robotics. And the third, I think that people often overlook is your unusually strong environment for deployment, because there is a good compact between Korean companies and its consumers. So technology is rolled out quickly. And in the AI space, that means that AI can be tested in real factories, in businesses, in public services, which explains why companies as diverse as NVIDIA, that does chips, OpenAI, with the models, SK Hynix, Hyundai, Naver, all can come together in a conversation and toast to their Sikku, because each controls a different part of the AI ecosystem, but they have found a home in South Korea.
Ah, yes. And, much of the discussion focused on things like AI chips and massive data centers and, these AI factories, cloud infrastructure, rather than on new AI models or chatbots, from what I understand. So has a global AI race entered a new phase, one where infrastructure has become just as important as the AI itself?
Yes, it has. But let me also preface this by saying it's not just about the infrastructure, it's also the domestic independence. We still haven't reached a phase, we still haven't seen the kind of independence in South Korea that I think many people domestically would like. And we can talk more about that as we continue this conversation. But to your point about moving beyond models and chatbots, you have a very powerful AI model that's great, but you also need computing power and you need electricity. Otherwise, it's like having a high-performance engine without fuel. So while the first phase of the AI race was on who can make the smartest model, the second phase is more about chips, more about power, more about data centers, factories, and networks. And that's why it's significant that Naver, Brookfield, and NVIDIA announced their plan to expand the Sejong AI factory, and also SK Telecom and NVIDIA. So you see a strategic shift in creating the infrastructure in this next phase of AI development.
Indeed. Well, with these several partnerships, as some of which you've already mentioned, announced at the summit, extending beyond just semiconductors into robotics, even things like autonomous driving, and what NVIDIA calls physical AI. How could these collaborations help really accelerate Korea's strengths in advanced manufacturing?
Well, you talk about the strengths in manufacturing. Korea has all that in spades with its infrastructure. So whether you're talking about chips, data centers, reliable, affordable electricity, you have that. And the second is you have that broad access and deployment, whether it's through startups, universities, factories, hospitals, schools. And third, the idea is domestic value and trust. Your population needs to be trusting of the system. They need to have the interest and ability to create Korean language models, strong intellectual property regimes, startups that can compete locally and domestically. And if you do that right, you create a flywheel. So you have the infrastructure that attracts the talent creates the apps, and you found the startups that become successful companies. The companies reinvest in the ecosystem. So that's something which Korea is very good at. The second thing that you talked about is physical AI. So with physical AI, you have robots, you have vehicles, you have factories, but you also have digital twins, which are actually a very important part of the process, which essentially think about it as a flight simulator for like a factory, for a vehicle, for industrial system. And that allows companies to test their changes virtually before they actually risk the money, the equipment, and safety in the real world. So I think that's worth noting. And finally, I think the collaboration between Hyundai and NVIDIA on what they call the robot reference platform, where they can make research robot models available to universities, to research institutions, to startups, means that that technology can spread beyond just talking about AI and chips.
Yes, yes. Well, you know, these announcements and these prospects, they certainly sound ambitious, but, you know, turning them into reality is a challenge. So in your view, Professor, what are some of the biggest obstacles Korea faces or will need to overcome, whether, as you mentioned, it's things like talent, whether it's energy or regulations or maybe even something else?
Well, I'd say you've hit the major ones, and I'd boil them down to four. So you need energy, you need talent, you need execution, and you need openness. I think energy is fairly self-explanatory. You need the transmission capacity, you need the cooling, you need the land, and you need the permits. When you talk about talent, you need Korean workers who can redesign ordinary business processes around AI. So not just the AI scientists, and that's great, but you also need electrical engineers, you need data center technicians, you need cybersecurity specialists, robotics engineers. And here I'd say, like many other countries with a homogeneous population, there is going to be a challenge in attracting foreign talent. You have got great domestic talent, and you've got 50 million people, which is not a small number. But when you compare that with the worldwide population and the worldwide talent, more needs to be done. I think if Korea wants to be a serious player, to think about how it can tap not just into its local talent, but its foreign talent as well. And third, I'd say execution. You need a whole of society approach, whether you're talking about government, universities, your chaebols, your startups. And then finally, you need openness, you need competition. Because if all the computing power and government procurement is concentrated with a few large companies, then your smaller companies will not be able to innovate. So you need to be able to manage that as well.
Yes. Well, we are going to have to wrap up our discussion here today, Professor, but thank you so much for your expertise and oversight into everything that happened with the San Francisco AI Summit and your take on Korean companies as well. Wishing you the very best. Take care, Professor.
Thank you, Catherine. Bye-bye.
Bye. This was Professor Daryl Lim once again going over the San Francisco AI Summit and what it might mean for Korea now and, of course, in the near future. I'll be back with your updated traffic and weather. It is quite busy on the roads right now. There's a lot happening and 3 accidents to report on for your traffic report. First up, an accident on 충무대로 from Chungmu intersections to Songdo intersection, right past Chungmu intersection. There's another accident on 다대로 from 다대포 to 장님 in front of 신장님 station. A third accident being reported on Nakdong-Namno from Seongsan 3-way intersection to Gangso police station right past the intersection. That one has been cleared up, but there is still residual backup. It's looking slow on Byeonglo from Wondong ramp to Suyong tunnel. It's already 29 degrees Celsius here in Busan under clear skies. It's going to go up to 34, generally speaking. In some areas of Busan, all the way up to 36 today. Busan is under a heat wave impact forecast, a heat wave warning, and a tropical night advisory. Across the nation, the blazing heat continues with the daytime high forecast to go up to 38 degrees Celsius in some areas. Parts of Jeonnam, Daegu, Gyeongbuk, and Gyeongnam are under the severe heat warnings, So we need to keep hydrated. Showers forecast for the central region plus Gyeongbuk. This was your traffic and weather. It is time for Heritage Trails. We have Haley in the studio, and we're going to be continuing our traversing to the heritage sites because why? The UNESCO World Heritage Committee's 48th session is ongoing. Kind of getting closer to the close of it, but, we need to continue our travels. So welcome back.
Thank you. We are on the penultimate episode. So this is the second to last episode. So I do want to take a look back. So we started a week and a half ago, 9 days ago, with Changdeokgung, which was the start of the powerful kings, the era of powerful kings of Joseon dynasty. So if that palace showed the lifestyles of Joseon kings, then today we are going to come almost full circle to two spots that show their end.
Oh.
종묘와 왕릉입니다.
So we're going to dive right into the royal tombs.
Right, so royal tombs are 왕릉. The royal tombs of Joseon dynasty, according to UNESCO, they form a collection of 40 tombs scattered over 18 locations. They're built over 5 centuries from 1408 to 1966. The tombs honor the memory of ancestors, show respect for their achievements, asserted royal authority, protected ancestral spirits from evil, and provided protection from vandalism. That is a lot to do. That is a lot to expect from a tomb. But as you can see, these are very revered spots. So they are actually unique in the world because these are one of the only tombs in the entire world that span over 500 years of one dynasty and also remain intact.
So important.
Very important. And then these are great sites to visit. They not only have historical value, but they're great places to go on your kids' summer vacation, perhaps, because here, we have this principle of 기바다가 to get this chi or energy because they follow strict 풍수 principles. 배산임수, water to the south and surrounded by mountains. And there was also this rule: the tombs always had to be within 100리 or about 40 kilometers from the capital because logistically, if the king wanted to pay respects to his father or mother, they couldn't be traveling weeks long.
Yes.
The tombs were in several parts. We have this T-shaped wooden shrine, a shed for its stele, royal kitchen, guard's house, gate, tomb keeper's house. They're also adorned on the outside with a range of stone objects, including people and animals.
Ooh, so there were strict rules on how these tombs were to be built. Well, any other rules that we should know about?
Right, because Joseon was all about rules and records. These people were meticulous about records, about tomb building and rituals for years to come. And then these weren't just written records. There were pictures, drawings, royal ceremonies, celebrations, and funerals all had drawing records. And the drawings show the coffin, how many people should be carrying them, how many people and where carrying lanterns, the layout of the progression, who's on horseback versus who's on foot, what they're wearing, and so on and so forth. So this is actually why after all these years, these progressions are reenacted or even continued. For the annual ritual, the 제사, 산릉제례 is what it's called, the clan of the 전주 이 family, who are the descendants of the Joseon royal family, they actually perform this every single year.
Right. So, the details, the meticulous details, so amazing. So those are the royal tombs of Joseon. But what exactly is 종묘?
Right. So now we're going to 종묘. This is the royal shrine. But it's actually so much more. It is like the spiritual guide, the spirit or the pillar of Joseon dynasty.
Okay.
And this is kind of why I brought in the question of what is the greatest or the coolest piece of architecture that you have seen. Because a lot of scholars and a lot of experts will point to this that you see behind us as the greatest piece of Korean architecture.
Wow.
But going to like pop culture, when you watch period pieces like 사극, and then, I don't know, the king's mad or there's an emotion going on, and his advisors are like kneeling, and they're like, 전하, 종묘와 사직을 생각하셔야 합니다. And you're like, well, what is 종묘와 사직?
Yeah, what is that?
Yeah, why do we have to think about that? Well, these are actually places. They're locations. So 종묘 and 사직 are both shrines for 제사. They're for ancestors or gods. So 사직 is for the gods of the ground or for crops because Joseon was an agricultural farming society. And Joseon was also a Confucian society, 유교국가. So 종묘 was where you held these ritual for the royal kings and queens. And actually, it's not their remains because their remains are buried at the royal tombs. It's kind of their spirit in the form of wooden tablets or plaques of the deceased kings and queens.
Yes.
So again, going back to the official UNESCO report, 종묘 is the oldest and the most authentic of the Confucian royal shrines to have been preserved. They're dedicated to the forefathers of the Joseon dynasty. The shrines have existed in its present form since the 16th century. They have tablets bearing the teaching of members of the former royal family. And also ritual ceremonies linking music, song, and dance are still performed here, perpetuating a tradition that goes back to the 14th century.
Just the history. And let's talk about the architecture of 종묘, which is also notable, right?
Absolutely. And I think this is where our media wall, the very long media wall, shines through because that is what 종묘 is, as I'm turning my face from the camera, trying to look at it as well. All right. So this is a funereal or a shrine. So it can't be extravagant. It can't be very colorful like a palace or a Buddhist temple would because it is an austere place of worship for the late kings and queens. So you can see that the main building only has this reddish-brown paint and the charcoal gray roof tile. So it's all about this reserved beauty. It's also not very tall. It's quite long, though, because and this is actually the longest wooden building in the country. There's this quiet grace and elegance to the building.
Sure.
And it's also on top of a stone platform. So when you enter the grounds, you are looking up at it. So you always have to look up at it in respect. Actually, there's an important history to how long this building is. Because if you look at the horizontal, the front layout, it is divided into sections, divided by pillars. Each section belongs to one king. So 태조 이성계, he is the founder of Joseon, initially built this as a 7-section building because Confucian rules dictated you honor up to 5 generations of your ancestors. And then so that meant after the 5th king, the oldest king's tablet after 태조 이성계, because as a founder, he would always be there, would have to be moved to the adjacent, the annex. So basically pushed out. But then rules also said if you made significant contributions to the dynasty, your tablet could be kept at the main building. That's called 정전. So it's like, all right, so 5, like who's fighting who, like what's going to happen? They added on. So you obviously see more than 5 sections here.
Yes.
광해군 and 영조, they each added 4 more sections. 현종 later added 4 more. So there are, I'll do the math, 19 sections to the main building and 16 sections in the adjacent building.
Okay.
Ironically, though, if you are considered a tyrant, your tablet could not be kept in 종묘. That meant 연산군 and 광해군, who added on the sections, isn't there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, fascinating details once again. And there were stories throughout Joseon's history that really show how important 종묘 was.
Because again, this is a spiritual place. So when Japan invaded Joseon in 임진왜란 in 1592, King Seonjo left Hansong, Seoul, to seek refuge. And he's actually heavily criticized for kind of abandoning the capital. But even as he abandoned the palace, the first thing he, or at least they packed was 신주, which is the plaques.
Okay.
So there's actually there's an expression that we say 신주 단지 모시듯. So it's like something very precious, like you're like really holding it up. And 신주 단지, the jar of 신ju, it comes from this place. So something that's very precious.
Yes.
And then after the capital is emptied out, the Japanese soldiers invaded. They went here. They're like, oh, look, rooms. At least 19 of them. Open space. Looks like a great place for us to set up camp.
Oh, gosh.
They didn't have, respect, period. So records show, though, the soldiers kept getting sick. Like mysterious illnesses just kept popping up.
Oh.
And then, well, guess where you are. And then when the soldiers learned that this is where the spirits of old Joseon kings were housed, they moved out. But then continuing with that disrespect, they also burned the building.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so it had to be restored. So a bit of added poetic coincidence. I told you there are 19 spots in the main building, 16 in the annex.
Yes.
It's called annex. It's called 영령전. In 1973, Yeongchun-wang passed away. So who is Yeongchun-wang? He was the last crown prince of Joseon. So his tablet went into the annex section in the 16th spot.
Oh, the last
So
one.
just coincidentally enough, and it wasn't built, back then to house him. So there just happened to be the end of Joseon dynasty, and the building ended here. So, of course, some say this is just pure coincidence, and it wasn't like the ancestors predicting the end of the dynasty, but it is a powerful metaphor still to how important this building was and how it kind of coincided with the beginning and the end, that whole 종묘와 사직. So again, what stands out about 종묘 is that it's an entire experience because it's accompanied by not only just the building, but the ritual practices, the music, and the rules, symbolizing the spirit of the dynasty. So, the material form, politically, that has ended in Joseon, but the spirit still lives on. And in the case of Joseon, it is enshrined in this building.
Yes, and now we know so much more. Thank you for the history lesson. And we'll, of course, check in with you tomorrow. Thank you, Haley.
Thank you.
We are due for another song break. So here it is, 깊은 밤을 날아서 by 규현.
우리들 만나고 헤어지는 모든 일들이 어쩌면 어린애들 놀이 같아 슬픈 동화 속에 구름 타고 멀리 나르는 작은 요정들의 슬픈 이야기처럼 그런 나 우리를 알지도 못하고 울지만 사랑은 아름다운 꿈결처럼 고운 그대 손을 잡고 밤하늘을 날아서 난 오직 그대 사랑하는 마음에 바보 같은 꿈 꾸며 이룰 수 없는 저 꿈의 나라로 길고 헤매고 있어 그런 나 우리들 날지도 못하고 울지만 사랑은 아름다운 꿈결처럼 고운 그대 손을 잡고 밤하늘을 날아서 궁전으로 갈 수도 있어 그런 나 우리들 날지도 못하고 울지만 사랑은 아름다운 꿈결처럼 고운 그대 손을 잡고 밤하늘을 날아서 궁전으로 갈 수도 있어 난 오직 그대 사랑하는 마음에 밤하늘을 날아서 그대 잠든 모습 바라보다가 입만 주고 날아오고파 그런 나 우리들 날지도 못하고 울지만 사랑은 아름다운 꿈결처럼 고운 그대 손을 잡고 밤하늘을 날아서 궁전으로 갈 수도 있어 고운 그대 손을 잡고 밤하늘을 날아서 궁전으로 갈 수도 있어
Good morning.
Good morning.
굿모닝입니다.
Good morning.
좋은 아침입니다.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan. Major news, local buzz, and expert takes. It's all here on Morning Wave in Busan. Brighten up your morning commute with Morning Wave in Busan.
Morning wave in Busan.
All right, waivers. Are you for our next segment? Are you really? Well, we have the Trend Whisperer here. Hayan is here. Woo!
Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing good. I mean, can't complain. It's nice and cool in here.
Right, nice.
AC's
and
going
cool,
on.
Spacious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have not much to complain about. But I am so curious as to what we are covering today.
Okay.
Yes.
So, first of all, I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts.
Oh.
And like when you look at this shirt, what's the first vibe that you get?
I don't know. I see like lots of arrows and lots of like.
Yeah.
I'm like zeroing in on the print. I love the print.
It's a lot of prints.
Yeah.
I think I'm giving off like kind of a quirky dad who tries to be cool by wearing like a lot of patterns, but maybe it's a little too much patterns. So. And then, Catherine, how would you describe your favorite way of dressing, your favorite style of dressing?
Oh, my favorite style?
Yeah.
Okay, off camera, I am so casual, like beyond casual. And so, but I always have my makeup on just in case, like, I run into people.
Oh, there we go, yes.
Right, so it's like sometimes I would just love to go without makeup and just, whatnot. But just in case like, I run into somebody I know or somebody recognizes me.
But during the week, because of your work, would you say it's like business casual?
I would say business casual. Like I always have to have a blouse on, right? I can't wear just like a T-shirt.
Yeah.
Usually with a collar.
I see.
And then, but with the pants, I go casual.
Yeah.
Like in the beginning though, when I first started working at school at a college, I had the full like dress with the high heels on.
Even with the high heels,
and going and like in a
isn't
like mountainous.
Your campus pretty uphill? Okay.
It's so uphill, and then I've broken a couple heels, and then I was just like, and then I had a little mishap with my foot. I had a broken foot.
Oh wow!
And then after that, it was just okay. I'm gonna stick with sneakers.
I see.
And then it just. Got real casual. Are we talking about fashion today?
We're going to talk about fashion.
Oh,
so, listeners, when you're out and about these days, kind of, observing what people's fashion style is, you might be wondering, okay, when did dressing like someone's dad become fashionable? Because we're going to talk about dadcore.
Yay!
Yeah.
I like this idea. So, we've heard about things like normcore, right? Dressing kind of real plain and ordinary on purpose. But let's explain what dadcore is to our listeners.
Okay, so let's picture maybe a specific or maybe a general father, 아버지, getting ready for a family barbecue.
Yes.
So, I think he would throw on maybe an old graphic T-shirt or a collared short sleeve shirt, maybe some loose jeans, maybe some knee-length denim shorts, maybe a baseball cap.
Right.
And I don't know about your dads, but in many dads' cases, nothing matches perfectly. A little out of balance, and everything's more practical.
Sure.
So it's kind of like the dad who's going out shopping to the groceries on the weekend. Yeah, but the thing is now these days. Young people and even celebrities are wearing this style on purpose.
They are. Actually, now that you mention it, and we have some visuals on our YouTube page as well, like real casual.
Yeah.
I have a couple shirts that I bought recently, and I was like, I asked the salesperson, I was like, 살짝 큰 거, and she's like, no, that's a style.
That is
it's
the
like
style.
the real boxy, shirt.
And
it's
I mean,
very boxy.
one of the images on our live stream right now, look at that baggy denim.
Yes.
Denim. I mean, I think some people call it jorts, jean shorts. But, that length where it goes a little bit slightly under the knee. I mean, that is very, like, stereotypical dad jorts.
It is. It is. It's like that, you know, it's kind of an awkward length. Like I tell my husband to avoid that length because I'm like, 1:1로 보여. Like the pew. Because it makes your legs look short. So, but if you look on our page,
that's true.
She's wearing heels to lengthen her silhouette, right?
There you go. So we're going to talk about how like there's some variations to this stereotypically dad fashion. So it's about wearing the kind of clothes that we associate with the slightly uncool middle-aged dad.
Right.
Whether you're running an errand or going grocery shopping, but the difference between dadcore and simply wearing your father's old clothes is...
what's the difference?
It's dadcore is all about looking relaxed and just, you know, thrown together.
Right.
But it's actually more intentional than it seems.
So I was telling you off air, my girls, they were my husband's old corduroys, but the really baggy kind, because like baggy is in right now, and they cinch it with like a belt.
That's it.
Okay.
So you could wear like a faded, maybe band t-shirt with loose jeans and those chunky sneakers, but then you add like a fashionable bag or stylish sunglasses or like the cinched belt look like your girls. And like we saw in one of those photos, pair the long denim shorts with kitten heels.
Oh, so chic.
Yeah, so the goal is not to like look like your dad for Halloween.
No.
You take one or two fatherly pieces and then mix them with your own taste, your own style. And so it's part of this effortless fashion trend.
Yes.
In Korean, we call it 꾸안꾸, right? So celebrities have been really, you know, wearing these dadcore styles all summer.
Right.
One of those photos that we saw before was Hudson Williams, the actor from the hit TV show Heated Rivalry.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, seeing him in those comfy, chunky sneakers, it's almost like, wait, is this... Like, was he not supposed to be photographed? But he was wearing that look to Paris Fashion Week.
Right.
Yes, and then, you know, the writer-performer Ayo Debris, she would pair like baggy trousers with flip-flops. So they're styling it in these different ways. But as we've talked about this, like this is not a brand new trend.
No.
Yeah, it's been around. So fashion, this dad fashion, it entered high fashion years ago through designers like Balenciaga. And they made like these popular items like practical parkas, chunky sneakers into, you know, a deliberate style.
And do you remember even, I think it was that same brand, like they had like it looked like a plastic trash bag. It was like, hey, this is a new it bag. No.
I mean, that's the thing about fashion. Even if it's high fashion, they have a sense of humor.
Right.
Because people first start laughing at something, like something, oh, that's so tacky or kitschy. But then a luxury brand like that puts it on a runway and suddenly it's so expensive, right?
Right.
So
expensive.
Here's a question for our listeners, our wavers.
Okay.
Is there something that your parents wore that you once found like cringe or embarrassing, but now you're like kind of liking it and consider wearing? Do you have something like that, Catherine?
Actually, like, I love going through my mom's closet.
Ooh.
She has like really good fashion sense, and like she always keeps like important pieces. And then like at first I would be like, that's a little much.
Yeah.
I can't see myself wearing that. But I've actually borrowed a lot of her pieces. Especially for like special events, I've definitely borrowed pieces.
Recently, I'm definitely going through my mom's drawers too. Like she's got these nice scarves,
right?
And do you remember shoulder pads?
Oh, I love shoulder pads.
See, when I was younger, I thought, okay, why are people doing that?
No,
but now,
I love shoulder pads. All my jackets have shoulder pads.
Or are they kind of in style right now?
I don't know. I like them. I like the box.
I don't even care. And like, there's something like kind of spiritually, I feel like more buff and stronger,
like,
so I feel more powerful.
With your shoulders.
I want to do that,
yes.
But let's talk about how dadcore might be reflecting something bigger.
Oh.
So first of all,
okay,
this whole style, it's pushing back against perfection.
And I love that.
Yeah.
We don't need to be perfect. And like, I used to want to look perfect. So I was always in a nice dress, straight always to my knee, and high heels, you know, trying to look professorial. So, and then I was just like, my feet can't take it anymore, right?
So maybe, I don't know, would you ever try maybe wear your very like business blouse with the dad jorts?
Maybe not the jorts, but I definitely I wear much more denim, and I definitely do the sneakers. Because like sneakers everywhere.
They're practical.
Yes,
that's actually cool.
Yes,
yeah.
I love that.
And also social media fashion. It's become so curated.
Yes,
every outfit has a named aesthetic. So even when you think about it, even casual looks,
right?
They require a look. They require like a lot of work,
right?
So, this trend, it says that you don't have to look perfect every second of the day.
I like that.
Yeah. And, people dress like they don't care, then they post detailed instructions on how to do it too. Because even the 꾸안꾸 trend, like, here's how to look like you haven't really tried hard.
You tried, but not trying too
But so
hard.
many steps to it. And the no makeup look, that's
It's
even
like,
harder.
I think that's much harder.
Yeah.
The no makeup look
It's
is
actually
like
more steps.
Yeah, there are more steps because you want to like real neutral and you don't want to look like you're done up.
Yeah.
But however, how are you going to get that perfect glass skin look?
I know. It's so
without
hard.
doing all the steps, right?
So Dadcore comes in here and says like, you know what? No, just relax. We don't have to be perfect. And the next reason is it's practical. Real big pockets.
Yes.
I hate it when I get a dress or a blouse where, here's a pocket. It's a fake pocket.
Oh, no. Those are the worst.
I want the
why put it
real
there?
one. Yeah. And, these sneakers, they're made for walking. And the jeans. Oh, remember the jeans, the type of jeans where you're wearing them and in the middle of lunch, you have to like unbuckle the button.
That's the worst. I hope skinny jeans never come back. I know fashion is like a cyclical thing. 스키니 진즈는 안 돌았으면 좋겠어요.
Please, yeah.
너무 불편해요.
From your mouth to God's ears.
Please.
Yeah, no more,
yes,
yeah.
Anybody listening up there?
And,
yes.
again, Dadcore, it brings up nostalgia, too, for Gen Z and younger millennials. These clothes might bring back memories of their childhood.
Yes.
Yeah, the striped collared shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Old windbreakers.
Oh,
I love them, yeah.
Yes.
It makes me think of like home videos from the 1990s.
Right.
And listen, I know that everyone doesn't have like good, fond memories of their fathers or maybe their childhood. But it's, I think for a lot of people, it gives them a sense of familiarity and safety. And even if it's bringing back memories of your dad being like, the electricity bill is too much, turn off the AC. Yeah, that was my dad, yeah.
Well, we can all have, really like wonderful, beautiful memories of every single, second of childhood.
That's true.
We can just take elements.
Yes,
right?
exactly. And maybe, dad jorts maybe can bring back some good memories.
Yes.
And there's also a bit of irony involved in this because Dadcore takes things that was once considered embarrassing, but people are wearing them proudly. Like, the high white socks.
Oh, yeah.
That used to be frowned upon.
Oh, yes.
But now it's a fashion statement.
Socks with sandals.
Yes.
Like that's, we used to cringe.
That used
like
to be a
when dad,
no-no.
Like my dad used to be such a fashion terrorist, and then like my mom evolved him into a human being, and like he started dressing real nicely. But like before the transformation, I remember I'd be like, Dad, no.
Don't do that, please.
Black socks and sneaker, no. Like,
now,
no. It's a thing.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Right.
My dad, and he was like a chubby guy. He would always, at any weight he was at, he would tuck in his shirt so tight.
Oh.
And, but these days, that could be a part of Dadcore.
No, it could be because
Yeah.
I remember I'd be like, Dad, take your shirt out. He would always want to like button up his shirt.
Yeah.
And like, wear his pants up real high. I'd be like, no,
So
Dad.
up high.
So up high. Like, hello, where is the flood? Seriously. 홍수 없어요.
Yeah.
Yeah, lower your pants a little.
Oh my goodness.
Yes,
so
yes.
once something that was so uncool, it can now kind of show confidence too.
Yes.
So, it's kind of saying like, I know this is supposed to be unfashionable, but that's why I'm wearing it.
Yes.
And another reason why Dadcore is cool is it's pushing back against the pressure to show off the body.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I like it when I see these, younger women, younger teenagers wearing these long shirts, large shirts, long shorts. That's not about, making themselves look thinner or traditionally attractive.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So
it's definitely a choice. Like to people who do that, that's your thing.
That's true.
Do your thing, girl,
Yeah.
or guy, whatever. But for girls who like my girls, they're on the slim side, but they don't. They like dressing casually
Yeah.
and baggy stuff.
Yeah.
And then like they'll wear like a cute tight top.
Exactly.
But then they'll, on the bottom, they won't go like, skimpy.
Yeah,
Right.
it's fun. I think
Right.
I think it contributes to some sort of like kind of gender equality too.
Yes,
yeah.
absolutely.
So, if any of our listeners want to try out this dad core,
Yes.
I would start with a very clearly dad-like piece.
Okay.
Like chunky sneakers or relaxed jeans, but then pair it with like a tank top or an interesting bag.
Sure.
So, the key is contrast.
I love your earrings.
So I've kind
That's
of
the
tried that
contrast.
today. So
Yes.
this is kind of a clearly, dad shirt.
Uh-huh.
But then I went through my mom's accessory box and wore my
nice.
mom's earrings.
I love the mix.
So it's a little
Mom and dad.
Ompacore. Let's try to make that a thing. Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh.
So yeah, don't wear everyday stereotype like at once.
Uh-huh.
If you put all of the dad styles together, that might be a bit much.
Yes,
Like you just came from 1992. But yeah, mix and match, have fun with it, get comfortable and practical.
Yes, I love. Maybe you're starting a brand new trend. You're not the
Ompa
trend
trend?
whisperer. Yeah, the umpa trend. You are the trend starter.
Let's do it. Half Oma, the other half dad.
Oh, that's going to be a challenge. Well,
Yeah.
we look forward to next week as well. Thank you so much, Han.
All right, bye everyone.
It is time to wrap up already. We had a lot of great information and, of course, hard news as well. But our lighter conversation with Dad Court with Han too. So wishing you a very safe Tuesday. Please keep hydrated throughout the day. This is a song request from Michael Sherlock by Shiny. So have a good one. Bye, everybody.
Shiny's back. Shiny's back. Shiny's back. 지금부터 all stop. 어느 누구라 해도 이 현장을 벗어나선 안 돼. 명백한 이상 건 속에 긴장하지만 난 밀실 안에서도 자유로워 이미 너의 떨린 숨결 하나까지 놓치지 않아. 은밀하게 노린 심장의 보석 너의 불안한 그 시선까지 꿰뚫었어. 난 용의 선상에 널 찾아냈어. 난 freeze 아무것도 모른단 얼굴로 넌 내 몸을 흔들어 기회를 노려. 두 개의 다 긴 밤불꽃처럼 커져. Baby I'm curious yeah. 사진 속 네가 숨긴 미소지 I'm so curious yeah. I'm so curious yeah.
하루에도 수백 번씩 널 떠올리다 떨쳐냈다. 내 머릿속을 채운 의문 네가 원한 것이 뭔가.
So I